Hi everyone, today I wanted to show you how I made my pea shooter from Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare. So I wasn't planning on making a video. While I was doing it, I was like, hey, let's just pick up a camera and see what happens. So I'm sorry if the video quality is a little bit shoddy, kind of just warning you, but I really hope you enjoy the video. Now the things you need, and not to spoil it, the recipe for the modeling chocolate will be in the description box below. Thank you, enjoy! So now we want to go ahead and create the stem, and with the stem what I did was I bought aluminum wire, and I found this in the floral section in Walmart. As you can see, it's not very stable and I'm not comfortable with putting the pea head on just one aluminum wire, so I just put the three together and I straighten them out. I measure it to the length I want it to be. And then once I'm comfortable with the length, what I'm going to go ahead and use is floral tape to wrap them together. With floral tape, you're going to go ahead and stretch it, and while stretching it, you go diagonally down. Now, leave some room at the top because we still want our rice cereal treat head to go on top. Now with the copper wire is strong enough to hold your pea heads. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and wrap those in floral tape as well, placing one on each side. And the reason why I do this is just to be a little bit more detailed in my work. Basically in the game, the pea does have some sort of stance to him, so that's why I wanted the stability and the flexibility of the stem. And then the pea pods wrap around his stem a couple times, and that's the reason why I use the floral wire as well. So as you can see, I'm basically just bending it to the shape that I want my pea to be. And if you don't want to do it this way, the wire way, and you feel it's too complicated, then just use a shish kebab stick, the pointy end being on the top, so you can go ahead and stick the head on the very top. Now with making the pea pods, I created a leaf shaped template to start forming the pea pods. And what I do is I roll out some green gum paste into small little balls, and I use that leaf size template to go ahead and place my pea balls in the middle so that I know they're not too big or not too small. And then I put those to the side for them to dry for a little while. And then I cut out green gum paste, and I use that leaf shaped template to cut out my shapes so that I can go ahead and make those into pea pods. And I cut 4 of them out so I can make 2 pea pods. Then I go ahead and I dab a little water right in the center, and then I go ahead and I place my little pea balls in the middle. Now once I have them all, I just put some water around it, and I go ahead and I stick the second leaf shape on top to start forming the pea pod. Then I go ahead and I take the end of my brush and I start to go in between the pea balls so that I can go ahead and bring them out a little bit. Now with placing the pea pods. To place the pea pods, I just got that copper wire and I stuck it right through those 4 balls in the center. And the 4 pea balls inside the pea is gonna really help stabilize the pea and keep it in place. And then once I have them in, I go ahead and I just pinch the edges to the copper wire to make sure that it stays in place. Now my pot is a medium-sized pot that I bought from Michael's. And then my cake, there's nothing special going on with my cake. I just baked a Duncan Hines dark chocolate cake. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and use the same process that you would use to make cake pops. But instead of rolling them into balls, I'm just going to use that cake consistency to fill up the pot. So I go ahead and I smash these cakes into bits. Then I use Pillsbury buttercream frosting, and I only use just about half of it. And I mix it into my cake mix until all of it is well combined. And then what I do is I just fill it until it reaches to the very top of the pot. Next, I'm going to go ahead and create the stem. So what I do is I take green modeling chocolate and I tack that onto the base of the stem. And I tack it onto the very top, but I leave some room at the very end so that I can go ahead and stick my cereal treat pea head on the very top. And what's really good about modeling chocolate is that it doesn't have to be perfect. Once you have it tacked on, it's really easy to go back and smooth any harsh edges or harsh lines. And that's why I chose to do modeling chocolate for the stem. So once I have my stem the way I want it to look like, what I do is I go and arrange my pea pods. So I go ahead and I adjust those, and in the game they kind of circle around his body about 3 or 4 times. For my pea pod, I only did it once. And then once I have my pea pods into the place that I want them to be in, then I go ahead and I make some quick fixes because my copper wire did come in contact with my stem. So I just go back, like I said, easy for modeling chocolate to go back and make those quick fixes. After I finished with the stem, I crushed Oreos and I placed that on the top of the pot so that it looked like soil. Now applying the leaves, what I first did was I rolled out green gum paste and I used the Wilton small rose leaf cutter to cut out my leaves for the feet. So once I cut out my leaf, basically what I do is I just stick it on the main stem and pinch it so that it sticks on there really good and it doesn't come off. And then I do the same thing to the last leaf. Basically I combine them all together and I pinch it all together so it stays into one place. Then I use the Wilton ivy leaf, and this is how I made the cuffs, I guess you would say, for the pea pods. Basically I bent it in half and then pinched it to the green wire so that it sticks to it. And that's how I came up with the ends of the pea pods. Then the neck. So I cut out the same thing the Ivy Wilton leaf cutter leaves, and I pinched the ends and placed it on top. I cut out 4, but I actually wish that I just used 3 ivy leaves. But same thing as the feet, once I have them all together, basically I just pinch them all together to make sure that they don't fall off. And this is gum paste, so they're going to dry really fast and it'll stay in place, it won't move. And there you have it. That's how I did the neck. Now for shaping the pea head, what I use is rice cereal treats. And I believe I use a 20-ounce Rice Krispies treats. And basically I'm going to use the whole package, and what I first do is I fold the cereal treat and start forming a ball. Once I kind of get the ball going, then I want to go ahead and I basically make my fingers into a circle to start forming the cannon of the pea. And I just basically compact those rice cereal treats. Then I go ahead and I punch in eyes, and I go ahead and I shape the cheeks, and I put in more definition into the cannon. And there you have it. That's my pea head. So now I'm going to go ahead and cover my pea head. So what I did was I rolled out green gum paste. My modeling chocolate actually went bad, so I ended up using gum paste. And what I do is I just drape that over the top and start to work it with my fingers to make sure that the gum paste covers the whole piece. And like I said, with modeling chocolate, it is really easy to smooth out those harsh edges or harsh lines. With gum paste and fondant, not so easy. So what I ended up doing was I took out a rolling pin and I rolled out those harsh edges so it wasn't as visible as they could have been. And then basically I just keep molding until I get my desired look. So next I'm going to use the Wilton Ivy leaf cutter to cut out the pieces of hair. So I cut out 2 of these leaves, and to attach them I just put a dab of water on the very top and just stick those on top, hold in place for a couple of seconds. Then for the eyebrows I used the Wilton small rose leaf cutter and I cut that leaf in half. And then I put a dab of water, a little bit too much, but put a dab of water on where the eyebrows are going to be, and then I just place those eyebrows on top. And then you stick the pea head on the very top. You stake it down. For the finishing touches, I applied lime green pearl dust to the peas, cheeks, head, and parts of the stem and feet. Then I applied black powder around the pea cannon, cheeks, and feet to give a gunpowder look. Then I drew the eyes in with a black edible marker. And there you have it. That is my pea shooter. Thank you so much for watching, guys.